That's the one thing that annoys me is the no is the sharing with Zoom, because
Yeah.
I lose everything else, every piece of content.
Yeah, it works better with two screens that are, which I must
Yeah,
commend Google for, where they allow you to select which tab you'd like to share, which was quite cool.
yeah. Well, and you can run the presentation uh,
Mhm.
while not losing your screen. And normally I'd have two screens, but now I have my laptop closed, so I'm just looking at one. Shall we give it a few more minutes while people join in? Thanks for opening the issues, by the way, Bjorn.
Yeah, no problem.
Makes it easier for me to sort of tag people. Hey, Dave.
Hey everyone, how are we all?
Good.
Nice, simple answer. Good, doing well.
But I haven't been in nearly as many meetings as you guys have. So.
I made I've been unwell. I've been in and out of bed just because I'm exhausted, and I made it to our planning meetings, and it made our delivery team very happy that I got out of bed to come to the planning meetings and then went back to bed afterwards. So it's the same honor that I give to the maintainers call. I have cancelled everything else apart from that, and yeah, so. But thanks to Bjorn, I've had some easy tasks to get on with while a bit delirious in bed. So I really do appreciate the clarity of the issues, and hopefully I can give some updates which will be well received.
I guess.
There you
Beauty.
All right. Yeah, then let's begin and not keep you out of bed. As I say to my children normally.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so first, before we start, the well-known, hopefully by now, antitrust policy notice. So please adhere to that, and also make sure you read and adhere to the Hyperledger code of conduct. We have I think, a pretty short meeting today, but let's see to which extent we can sort of dive into the open issues. I know some of them may have already been addressed, but I think that's good to look at. So before we start, do we have any new faces that would like to introduce themselves? I'm looking at Bitcoin Daddy, not wanting to put you on the spot, but I don't recognize the name, so maybe you'd like to introduce yourself a little bit.
No, it's me, Bart.
Who is me?
It's just
Hey,
my
Shweta.
Hi, Shweta.
my real name.
Nice.
Yeah, okay.
Well played, Shweta. Well, welcome. Who else do we have? Other names that I don't recognize? Newman, welcome.
Hey everyone. First time participant here. I come from over from the Catalyst, Project Catalyst and Cardano. I'd always checked in on Atala Prism and wanted to know identity issues from way back. Let's see, I come from education, worked as an instructional technologist, helping professors put their courses online way back when. And now I'm sort of independent and hoping to learn and build something with these new technologies.
All right, awesome. Well, welcome, and I hope you will get out of this meeting or this series of meetings what you what you need. But
Cool.
it's good to see new faces. I see Gitsa NGO as a new face.
Oops, that might be me. Sorry.
Ah,
Logged in with the wrong account.
everybody has these alter egos. Very nice. Maybe then Toby. Yeah.
Sorry, I was trying to figure out how to unmute myself.
Ah, no
Uh,
worries.
So I've been with the Hyperledger for like a year. So I guess while I was reading through the Open Enterprise Agent, then I saw that Fayad was once talking about the contribution that they made to Hyperledger Fabric, and that got me interested because I've tried contributing one time. So I just wanted to see what this is all about. I'm new here. I don't even know what Open Enterprise Agent means.
Okay.
This is
Good. Well,
Alright.
I think you've come to the right place. So the Open Enterprise Agent, for now at least, is the lab that holds our cloud agents under the Hyperledger repo. We intend to bring some more components there, so a mediator, some SDKs in different languages. That will happen over the next few weeks, hopefully, maybe months, depending on how fast our legal and comms team work. But hopefully this will be a worthwhile series of meetings, and we always welcome outside contributors, even if they're just here to sort of lurk along and ask the occasional questions. If there's ever any question, please feel free to raise that. So with that, I think we've had all the names. I'll hand it to Fayad for the community updates.
Cool. Coffee after short as always, and with regards to the more exciting thing. But just a few things from my side. So, pure rebranding. What that means is, instead of being calling ourselves Atala Prism, we are just calling ourselves Atala as an entity. Prism will be our open source platform. So we are hoping to move the SDKs, the mediator, and you might be asking, okay, what about the node? Well, with regard to the node, there is a technical discussion taking place at the moment to see how we can improve it first before we make it public. And so with that, we are assessing how long it's going to take to create a new one. And then based on that, we'll determine if we are just going to create a new one or open source the current one and put that in the public domain. Prism Pioneer program update. So you guys may have not heard this, but we are closing down the Prism Pioneer program. We will be replacing it with more educational blogs, videos, and from a tech perspective, you guys are welcome to jump into the OEA repo with our comprehensive documentation to figure out how you can go ahead and start building with Atala. Or sorry, I should say Prism. We also plan on having a little bit more open discussions in Discord, so communicating more about work, what we're doing, what we're focusing on, and that will also show the community, or the community will have a lot better insights to see what we're working on at the moment. And then a little bit of a new thing that will probably start after the next maintainer call. So we'll alternate it every week. 1 week will be the maintainer call. Following week will be the outreach call. So the purpose of the outreach call is to figure out what the community wants. It's going to be less technically focused. So the first outreach call is on the 13th of Feb. And a topic that could potentially happen in the outreach call is maybe asking the community, what kind of workshops do you guys want? You want us to focus on the SDKs first, the mediators first, or the node, etc. So yeah, that's it from my side. If you guys do have any questions, you're welcome to reach out to me via Discord, and I'll be happy to answer them, or at the end of this call.
All right. Thanks. And so to the comment in the chat, no Pioneer program. The intention is to have that be replaced by something which is as valuable. But also the Pioneer program was used a little bit to give people early access, and given that everything is going to is already open source, but is going to move to Hyperledger, I think the accessibility to the technology is sort of a more or less a solved problem. But I think to Fayyad's point, if there's ever any questions or specific needs with regards to what you'd like to be educated in or where we need to have documentation, please feel free to raise it, because I think that's a very good way also for the team working on this to understand sort of, hey, where do people struggle and where do we need to sort of simplify the whole experience. With that, I'd also like to make a proposal. So this meeting actually becomes useful in terms of decision making. As announced in the last call, I will be leaving IOG at the end of the month. Now that might not mean that I won't be involved anymore, but in the next few months, it's going to be difficult for me to make any type of commitment to saying, hey, I can be fully engaged or not. So that made me decide to sort of say, hey, let's make sure there is a new co-chair together with Björn that can sort of really drive this group forward. The person who gracefully stepped up and has at least my full endorsement, but I think from everybody in IOG is Esteban. Esteban has done a great job in building out the beta program in the early stages of the Open Enterprise Agent. So I think he'll do a great job. I won't say enough about him because he's in the meeting, so I will gracefully hand him the mic and let him introduce himself a little bit, and then we can take it from there. I'll just say one thing, which is so this will be the last meeting that sort of I've prepped, but I will be handing over sort of the reins to him, and sort of as of the next meeting, he'll be the co-chair unless anybody strenuously objects. So if that's the case, speak now, or at least for the foreseeable future, you're going to be stuck with Esteban.
I guess there are no objections. That's good. I think, I mean, but for the most part, the people right now in the call know me. There are a few newcomers today, so I will share with you a little bit of my background. I started with this like 2 years ago, maybe a little bit more. I was part of the community. I was a Prism Pioneer program participant early on the first cohort. And that's how I started my journey here. At that time, I was really looking forward to having an Atala Prism open source in the way that we are having right now. By that time was not a reality. So I'm very excited of having this meeting today in the form of an Open Enterprise Agent that is an open source representation of this very exciting technology. I have been here probably as long as Björn has been around. We share that in common. We know each other for quite a while. So yeah, I think that I have a good understanding of what the SSI community, in particular the people that comes from the Cardano ecosystem, what they desire to have with this project. Part of my goal right now is to help to complete this transition. There are a lot of things that remain closed, and the desire is to be more transparent with the community, give more visibility with the community, engage more with the community, let the community also influence the direction of this project. I think that is very important for us, and leverage this in a way that let us create a outstanding SSI technology. So that is a little bit of my goal here, and yeah, I'm really excited of being here. I really enjoy talking with people about SSI, having engagement. I also like a lot educating people about SSI. So I think that the upcoming months and hopefully years for me in this project are going to be very, very exciting.
All right. Well, cool. And yeah, thanks for stepping up. I think this group needs somebody to shepherd the herd into the right direction. And I think you'll do a great job together with Bjorn in getting this group to the next stage. So yeah, really looking forward to that, and also looking forward to joining this as a participant. I don't know when, but I'll definitely sort of check in every once in a while. ADRs, Dave Poltrak.
Thank you. So a couple of new ADRs coming through this week. I think we're going to see a few more related to the same topics. So these are all in draft status at the moment. So this would be great if you're looking to read about how we go about making decisions in terms of architecture, some of the ongoing work that is being improved in the agent. These two are specifically around the first one by Shailesh in terms of error handling report problem is around improving how we manage reporting problems to clients who are using DIDCOM. And the second is more a code level implementation where we are looking at how we do error handling in terms of the implementation of stack traces, bubbling up the errors. Should we fail? Should we try and recover? And in an effort to improve the graceful degradation and error handling across the stack. So those are in GitHub. The links are there after the pull requests. Comments greatly appreciated, greatly welcomed. Even if you just want to see the kind of process that we go through, please go to look at them. We expect some more to be coming through of error handling. I think we've drafted 6 titles for error related to error handling. And I think around about 3 or 4 of those will be complete in the next couple of weeks. And Ben's leading the effort on this. So thanks to Ben for the effort in making sure we're doing ADRs and we're covering all our bases. And I owe him one as well. So I will get on with working with that soon, very soon. Nothing really to highlight apart from have a read and general discussion. And if anyone sees anything in these they'd like to discuss in a synchronous meeting, then I think we'd propose that we have a dedicated architecture session where people are welcome to come in. We can do some whiteboarding, we can do some discussion, but we'll do that if people want to go through them, if it can't be managed async. We're getting quite a good velocity being async at this time, but we like talking about it. So if anyone does want to do that, please reach out on Discord. We'll get that arranged. Thank you.
All right, thanks. Is there any specific type of feedback you're looking for?
With respect to ADRs, I think it's a good question. My brain's not ready to answer it. Thinking through it, yes, there is specific feedback. I mean, we're looking to look at the decision drivers that are listed in the architectural decision records. So actually making sure that the way that we're making decisions is aligned to the decision drivers. If there are non-technical users who want to look at them, have a look at the decision drivers. See if they align with what your use cases, solutions, and needs are. And that would be really interesting feedback, not just from a business perspective, but also, I know, for us who are writing them, to make sure we're thinking along the right lines of why we're doing certain things and what value it's adding. So if anything, I'd go there. I think we're already doing a lot of technical work, but I think we're all accepting the decision drivers as, yeah, that makes perfect sense. That's fine for us. But having that external influence and wider diversity would be really interesting to get the feedback on. Thanks for the question, Bart.
Okay. Anybody have any questions at this time about ADRs? If not, we'll move on. Yeah, we had some open issues. So let's start there. I hope you guys can still see my screen. This is where Zoom.
Yeah, we can see it.
Hails on me. How should we go about this? I see some of the things have been.
Do you want to do low-hanging fruit with people who can provide structured updates? Or do you want to by turn?
Whichever you prefer. I have no preference.
I can definitely do structured updates because I picked a couple up today. So just a quick update on following quick start guide leads to error, which is in the middle of your screen. This is essentially an issue where we've exposed an additional port when running stuff locally, not catered to the fact that when we run it twice, we actually now need to set a different port for the second instance that's running. It's a documentation update. I picked it up earlier. I've updated the documentation. It's been deployed into a staging site. So we can resolve this. The fix is on here as well. The reason for bringing it up now and talking through in detail is that staging site is still part of Atalo IOG and still follows a release cadence that means that I can't close this as fixed instantly because we have to go through a cadence and a release process internally to get it out. And I know that we've got some work on that. Maybe it's just good to mention that I think we've already got planned how we decouple these over the next couple of months. So this won't be the same process for the next time we have an issue once we've completed that work.
Okay. So we can consider this closed. It's just not released into the public doc site. And yeah, I think Bjorn, you raised an interesting one. And if you know, you know.
I've been very verbose so we can close it with the evidence attached. I would have liked to have written its release, go and check it, but that's why I've been very verbose. So I'd like to close it with that in. Maybe Bjorn can sign it off for me and say, yeah, I can see that. I'm happy with that.
Yeah. Okay.
On another one that I picked up as well is related to the memory leak that's been yeah. So thank you for this. I've already done some testing on this. We've got lots of metrics to show it. I've got some theories about what's happening and what's not happening. I think if we get through the content and anyone wants to do a technical discussion on this call, I'm very happy to show and tell and then talk through some things, but it would require a little bit of investigation on our side. It's certainly something that's probably hidden in our deployed environments because we limit the memory that's used. And therefore I can already see that garbage collecting is kicking in and the memory is, leveraged correctly. But when you don't limit the memory, it may be that we do have memory leaks or thread leaks, and we need to investigate those.
Yeah, the one thing here is the application isn't crashing, I believe. In the screenshot, you see that before the days before, it was running at 8 gigabytes of RAM, and it used it all up, but not completely, and it wasn't crashing. So it's most likely really a garbage collection issue.
Yeah, I've already got some nice graphs and dashboards that show a few things, but I don't want to close it and say, no, I want to make sure we investigate it properly and do longer testing. So that's the reason it's still open. So I'll do an update over the next few days.
Okay. Okay. Good. What else do we have? Oh yeah, so we have the agent generating an invalid URI for the DITCOM endpoint, and I saw we had Shilas in the call, and I think also Ben. So maybe they can speak to this.
Yeah, I can because I investigated this. So basically, the documentation doesn't talk about the Docker host, which needs to be an environment variable where you define the host for the DITCOM endpoint, and I think that one is missing. That's why if you see the HTTP endpoint doesn't have the host. So I think we need to update the documentation. Somehow we have missed it. The documentation after we did some changes. So I can fix that soon. I haven't. I just investigated to find it out, but I haven't fixed it. Basically, it's a documentation fix.
Okay.
So maybe just a comment here. It would also be good if this could be fixed in code somehow, so that this can't even happen. So when the agent starts up, it immediately would throw an error, because otherwise you really have to go into the OOB and understand what's going on here.
Yeah, we can look into that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. And then we have conflicting advice in documentation about Prism Node in combination with the agent. I think this is also just.
I can comment on this, and there is a similar ticket with Broken Link. So the README file was slightly updated. We changed our Docker registry, and the version of the agent was also 1.18.1, and in documentation it was still 1.12. So I updated this version, and everything should be right after my PR.
Okay. I think that makes sense. The only thing that I'm thinking about is do we have to do this on every release? And if so, then is there a way to reframe how we talk about the versioning and sort of what goes well together? Because otherwise every time it requires an update for this, and that feels painful.
We need to figure it out.
We can take this into, there's a very smaller node and agent. So VDR and agent, we can take that into our discussion around the VDR and the life of the node as it progresses. But I think it's also wider than that lots of things have dependencies and interoperabilities, and how do we support and make sure things stay compatible? I think we should separate that into a general discussion.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna leave this for now, given that there's already PR for this. Let's make sure that that's merged for the short term, and then for the longer term, let's figure out how to do this correctly, which I think has to do with like contract first development. So that's a wider conversation we need to have. Okay, so links to the images in README broken. So Alain, this is being worked on. I'm not sure if it's already done, but it's a relatively easy fix. So I'm hoping it's done this week.
Yes, it's also done.
It's also done. Okay, good. Build instructions to the README.
It's on me as well.
Yeah.
This week.
Okay. As long as it's in the documentation, it's easy, Bjorn.
It's like polishing.
Quick update on the vulnerability. David, did you have time for this?
I did, yeah. So the security MD I've put it onto a current branch that we're desperate to close this week as a forcing function. But essentially it's all set up. There's a channel in the Hyperledger Discord for notices to go out on, and a process in place for reporting those vulnerabilities. So if the PR for the performance work, thank you for linking it, takes longer than this week, I will decouple it and just get it out on its own. But I'm hoping to merge a PR where this was already partially worked on. So it's just easier for me not to spit it out. It's just less work to do. So I'll continue to advise, but it should be merged in this week, and you can use the link and you can go to GitHub and you can privately report a potential vulnerability. So, but I can update that in a second because there's a few branches of performance stuff. That's fine.
Oh, it's in a different branch. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit messy.
Okay.
But yeah, that's good. And I think the only thing here to note is we will need to be on our toes for incoming private reports. We should get notified, but it's unclear exactly how we'll be notified and what integration options exist. So my expectation is we will have emails coming through to all maintainers should a vulnerability be reported.
Yeah. Okay. I think, yeah, this one is an old one. Ben, I know you responded to this, and Yuri as well. I'm not sure if we were able to reproduce this. I don't think we have been able to reproduce this one.
To be honest, I don't remember exactly what it was.
Yeah, I think this. If I look at this, also being from November, I think this could have been somewhere old version. So I'm not even sure if this is still relevant. So I'm,
No, I don't think so.
tempted to
We got-
tempted to close this. Also because we can't reproduce the issue.
Yeah, and we got no feedback since several months, so probably we can close it, I think.
Should we? I think I'd advise that we close it given the versions, but should we ask Mix directly with direct message to be open and say, hey, could we just clarify? Otherwise, we'll close it in 7 days or by the next meeting, whatever it is.
Yeah, good idea.
Okay. Good. Well, then I think that's the open issues, which brings us to the last part of this call, which is the Q&A. Any questions or things we would like to discuss?
I have a minor one. So I was asked the question if it is possible to import or export the credentials out of the agent. Is this in the feature roadmap included, or did you make any decisions about that?
So I'll give the hand wavy answer, and then I'll let either Yuri or Dave or Ben sort of chime in. So one of the things we have done is decouple sort of the secure storage, so people can basically use their own storage device, and I think these are exportable under certain circumstances. So I would say technically it should be feasible. And now the question is, and I think the bigger discussion is to which extent do we want to make it really easy? Because there's also a security trade-off that needs to be taken into account, I think. So I don't think we've made a decision other than adding the optionality for people to be able to do it. Yuri, Dave, any?
Yeah, I can add to that a little bit. So I think the current position is that at an infrastructure level, these things are not prevented. So to do it as an emergency, there are ways to do it, but they're not application features. And I think that's where we're talking about. It's the ability to easily export and import. There are some items in the roadmap which are currently under next, i.e. that they will be worked on, but the exact timing is unknown. That enable export. Gonzalo's posted that for the SDK. So if you're implementing from an Edge Agent SDK perspective, that would be there. I'm unsure what the roadmap looks like for the Cloud Agent. If it's in the same item or if it's a feature that's not been prioritized on it, but I can take that away with Yuri and we can find out where that has been planned so far. But I have seen the titles on internal tickets, so I know that there is work planned to be done. But I'll come back and clarify that quite happily in our next call.
Okay, thanks for the update.
Yeah, I think also, and this is a call out, I would say to all, saying, hey, if there are discussions about please raise them as issues, also so that we know that they surface and we can actually engage in a community conversation about what these types of features should look like, because we're transitioning from this phase where we've built a bunch of stuff. We may have built some stuff in a way that is different from how the community would like to see it. So the more feedback we get on this and the more requests we get from the whole community, I think the easier it will be to sort of either put it on the roadmap or discard it from the roadmap and say, hey, yeah, actually no, we have a lukewarm response to certain things, so we're going to deprioritize those. Dave?
Thank you for bringing it up. That's really important. Can you advise if there is a specific set of issue types, or was it just raise an issue, or is there a new feature request? How would you like it?
I think we have a template for feature requests. I know there's currently conversations being had about sort of updating that template. I think maybe this is something that Esteban could also take for the subsequent maintainer calls to sort of figure out, hey, what's the easiest way to harvest those feature requests in terms of like what should the template look like. So that's useful for people that are implementing and the people that want to see a feature and are thinking in terms of customer value and less about the technical implementation of things. Yeah, I think that would be definitely useful. But there is a rudimentary sort of feature template right now. Any other questions, topics for discussion? Hearing none, then we can put David to bed.
But I just wanted to propose the same stuff. There is an improvement template, and if you can, Bjorn, if you can create a ticket with your proposal, we will review it together with product managers, and we'll answer about our vision and probably add it to the roadmap. So.
Yeah, we can do that so that we have at least some feature requests in there.
Yeah.
So maybe other people would then easier open up a new one if there are already existing ones.
Yeah, no, and also, I mean, looking at this, so there's for all of these issues, like one of the things that we are working on as well is sort of populating the project roadmap. So I think that the issues that were raised sort of are not yet planned, and I think we also need to get into the rhythm of making sure we sort of use this meeting, for example, to make sure we sort of update the board accordingly and make sure that sort of we have people assigned to it and sort of initial responses so that we can quickly move forward, be it around bugs or be it around features. So I think that would be good also to pick up. No, this meeting is bi-weekly for now. So every 2 weeks on Tuesday. Having said that, once we start moving the mediator and the SDKs also under the OEA lab, I would assume, but maybe I'm just speculating here, that we want to have a little bit more meetings that are a little bit separate about the different components. Dave has also alluded on numerous occasions that he would like to have open architecture meetings as well for the more technical side. I think Esteban and Anushka will probably also want to maybe field some questions from the user perspective. But let's see how that goes. But for now, it's once every 14 days, and hopefully we will increase that with slightly different meetings.
Yeah, maybe on that topic, for sure, there is going to be an effort to open up more meetings and more spaces. We are still figuring out. We are just starting talking about these topics. We recognize that there is a need to create different spaces because this meeting is only one and can be overloaded very quickly once we start having more components in play. And also we need to create spaces for things that are not necessarily as technical. Is part of what Fayad mentioned early on. We can create this, we call it outreach space. Basically is to engage with the community to talk about things that can help us make the project grow, reach more people, ask about what topics are relevant for the community regarding education, as Fayad was mentioning, what kind of workshops the community may want, so we can use those initiatives to drive adoption and usage of this. And also create spaces for the technical conversations, like the IDRs, like maybe probably working groups for specific things like SDKs, a working group for the mediator, that kind of stuff. But we will be talking about the details most likely in Discord. The idea is having all these conversations of how we structure the communications with the community, also in the open. What we are going to try to do is not take decisions as a Tala tribe, but rather involve the community and the transparency from the get-go, and having all these discussions available for everyone to participate and put their point of view in there. So yeah, that's something that we will be working during the upcoming days, and just keep an eye on Discord for all this information as we go by.
Okay.
Hey, with that in mind, like an open outreach to a sort of hybrid technical user community, the Gimbal Labs has an open space with an open sign up. I think is in the afternoon UTC that might fit. It's a place that I attend regularly, and would love to see at least the topic, of identity management, authorizations, and this new architecture, because it does feel like this is a big change, and I think it happened. Well, first there was version 2 of Atala. I think that was in the spring, maybe over the summer, and then this change over to Hyperledger. I think the community there and the people that I know, it's still a little bit amorphous or exactly what is here, and so I would love to see you all do a 90-minute slot there in some upcoming Tuesday.
Yeah, that's a good item, because we can also leverage other Cardano communities that already exist. That there are quite a few, and there are also Cardano communities for Latin America, and I guess probably there are around Africa, and maybe we can book spaces in those community groups to also let them know that we are open source, and they can also come here, and if they are interested in the identity topic, come join us as well. Yeah, thanks for letting those. Well, I actually was aware of Gimbal Labs, but I forgot.
Don't forget Gimbal Labs, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, really cool suggestion. Let's make sure we follow up on that. We've done some in the past, some educational presentations, so we have enough material. Just one comment on the changes. So other than our components moving to Hyperledger, this should not be such a big change with regards to like the architecture and how our model works. We made a rather big shift between sort of the version 1 and the version 2. But now we're basically expanding on that and making sure that all the components become more and more decoupled, so that we're shipping less of a system and more sort of like individual mix and match. I think so if you just need an SDK in TypeScript, or you just need to have the best mediator in the industry, then you pick the Open Enterprise Agent Mediator. And you'll be good to go. So we're trying to make it as easy as possible, but it should all work together quite nicely. But it's good that we should take the opportunity to talk a little bit more about that to the people in the community, for sure. With that, I'd like to thank you all for well, at least my last sort of co-chaired meeting. For now, I've really enjoyed this, but you're in very capable hands with Björn and Esteban, and I'm very excited to see how this gets expanded. And I'll be following it and may even be using it. So I'll post my issues nicely where they belong if I have feature requests. But I'll be rooting for this project to really take off. So thanks all for the first kickstart, and looking forward to the future.
Have a great day all.
Cheers all.
See you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks a
Bye-bye.
lot. Bye bye.
Bye.